I noticed there's a lot more women hecklers now. You never used to get women hecklers. Well, except in bed. Get off! You crap! Or it was, go down, do it all! Go down, do it all! You what? Go down to do it all, the ceiling needs painting. And all those comedy groupies wanting to have hot monkey sex with you. I know they're out there. If I knew where they lived, I'd send them some tickets. I said. And of course, loads of drugs on tour. Vic Sinex, deep heat, you know, snorting Complan. Oh, wonderful. But actually, I mean, there's all this hullabaloo at the moment about trying to legalise cannabis. Okay, but what is interesting is if they do legalise cannabis, it will still be an illegal drug in sport. Don't you think that's strange? What they're saying is that cannabis is a performance-enhancing drug. You've got to be on it to make a decision like that, haven't you? I mean, what they're saying, you're going to run 100 metres faster because you're on the weed. What we doing down here? He's got a gun! Bang! Oh. Where's everybody gone? Personally, I don't see it, you know. But don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you should legalise drugs in sport. I think they should be banned. And to be fair, they test everybody now. I think it's. I'm happy with it. You know, I mean, they're even testing crown bowls now. Them doddery old geezers who play crown bowls, they're giving urine samples now. They don't mean to. Off for a drug test, Frank. Do you think they'll ever ban Viagra in sport? Hey, the triple jump will be a cinch, wouldn't it? And the pole vault, bloody hell! Will he be coming down? Imagine if Linford Christie took Viagra. Get back behind the line, Linford, come on. For the 4 or 5 foot, yeah, come on. It's amazing what they do with drugs now, isn't it? And there's a drug for shyness now. Who's going to ask for it? But drugs are dangerous. I mean, we joke about it, but drugs are dangerous. Well, I mean, everything's dangerous now, isn't it? I mean, blimey, I'm amazed we're all here, really. Well, you can't eat anything, can you? I mean, everything's going to be poisoned and eventually, and you can't eat beef, you can't eat lamb. What are they going to farm next? Tortoises? Comes with its own serving dish. Mad tortoise disease, that'll be the next thing, won't it? You know? How can you tell? You know? Oh, mad! Starts humping your crash out, you think, yeah, it's mad. And mobile phones are dangerous. I mean, have you been reading about this? Mobile phones are dangerous. I can't believe what's going on out there. And they've been doing this research in this university up north. And apparently mobile phones emit these incredibly strong microwaves, which like cook you. The latest ones have got a warning sound. After 5 minutes of conversation, it goes ding! And your earwax is ready. No, seriously, they've been doing this research in this university up north, right, on gerbils. And, well, don't ask me, I'm not a scientist. And what they've been doing is strapping mobile phones to the backs of gerbils to see if it affects them. Of course it bloody affects them. What's bloody mobile about these then? I can hardly get in me wheel now, can I? Can't I go back to the cigarettes? And it's costing this university a fortune because the gerbils have discovered chat lines. Gerbil 1-to-1 and gerbil sex lines. Hey, 3 in a wheel, yeah. Hey, honey, I'm hung like a rabbit. We're having an S&M party. Bring your own hedgehog. Phones in general, phones are a bit of a rip-off, don't you think? All these 0891 numbers, you've been using them? No, we're from St John's Wood. We wouldn't do things. Yeah, I mean, obviously the sex lines, 0891 sex lines. We all know about those, and it's no coincidence that hands-free phones came out. Oh, you're ahead on that one. That's right. You ever used them? Purely for research purposes. Yes. I tried one. It's £2 a minute. It's the best 30p's worth I've had for a while. But it's all these programs that try and get you to phone in. Radio stations phone in and win stupid things like fridge magnets or something. And it's only morons that phone in. I mean, well, it's 70p a minute to win a fridge magnet. You've got to be a moron, haven't you? That's why the questions are so moronic, you know. What is the capital of Great Britain? Is it A, London, B, 1948? I'm going to phone in twice and make sure I get the right... Hello? I don't know. And newspapers are on the same scam. They're a bit more subtle. They sort of decide the issue of the day, you see. But basically, it's to get your money in, you know. And the Sun wants it both ways. They want you to send your money in, but they also want you to decide the issue of the day their way. So if you get a question like, should Britain join monetary union with Europe, you wouldn't get that in the Sun. They'd say something like, should Britannia abandon the dear old pound to the faceless socialist bureaucrats of Brussels, leaving the toothless British lion to face the hunchback kraut bankers and other assorted garlic munching spicks, frogs, clogs and itards? Or not. What else? There are some strange people about today, don't you think? Yes. The people that said no are strange. I went to my auntie's about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and we were watching television, and Crime Watch was on, and they put this picture up of a bloke, and they said, have you seen this man? And my auntie phoned in and said, no. It's dotty aunts, isn't it? You know, we've all got dotty aunts. I found that out. She said to me, I see the oldest man in the world still alive. Yeah. She has great logic. She has great logic. And she gets... like everybody else, she gets all those requests through the post for charity donations, you know. And of course, she's not very well off, and she feels guilty because she can't send them more money, you see. But also, she gets through the post, like we all do, those offers from companies for really cheap loans. So she sends them direct to the charities. Bloody good, isn't it? I started doing it myself. I think, oh. But it's a confusing world for... well, particularly for me, auntie, for us all, you see. She can't come to terms with, these days, you get the cheapest electricity from the gas company. Isn't that weird? And you can get gas from the electricity company. And she doesn't understand why. And I tried to explain. I said, well, look, electricity is generated in power stations which are fueled by gas, which the electricity company buys off the gas company to produce electricity, which they sell to the gas company, who then sell the electricity to us. Meanwhile, the electricity company, who are buying gas off the gas company to produce electricity, and they sell to the gas company, are making so much money, they're buying more gas from the gas company, so the electricity company can sell us gas. And she hadn't the faintest idea what I was on. And I said, what worries me is, are they going to send the electricity down the gas pipes? More to the point, are they going to send the gas down the electricity cables? So you come home at night, turn on your light and go... And if you want to top yourself, right? I mean, do you electrocute yourself in the gas oven? Or do you stick your head in the microwave and gas yourself? The only saving grace are electric blankets. You can fart in bed and blame it on the gas. Then you can complain to one of those utility companies, you know, off tel, off gas, off gen, and the water one, off piss. At home, we've had a water meter fitted. Just forget it, I tell you what. I mean, I can't... Since when has water become liquid gold? I mean, they send me bills, I go, what? Are these in lira? If my house catches fire, I've got a decision to make. Hey, economise, that's what we're saying in our house. I say to the kids, don't wash your hands before meals, have diphtheria, it's cheaper. Economise, eh? The goldfish has to lie on its side. You have a bath in our house, you have to take the washing up with you. You only mistake the cheese grater for the loofah once. Oh, I noticed London got the Millennium money. Ooh, there was a surprise. Oh, yes, you're sitting there all smug, aren't you? And you got the money for the new sports stadium. Oh, well, no. I mean, don't spread it about, will you? Oh, I'm sorry. You gave the Commonwealth Games to Manchester. I do apologise. They should only lose 2 or 3 billion on that, shouldn't they? Hey, and what did Birmingham get? The bleeding Eurovision Song Contest. Those well-known Brummie presenters, Ulrika Johnson and Terry Wogan. A Swede and a spud. There was no bloody Carrott, was there? No, I only looked. The governor of the Bank of England, Eddie George, said a few weeks ago, in effect, the North, that's us and everything over Potter's Bar, will have to suffer job losses to preserve the prosperity of the South. Yes, I'm sure you agree with that, yeah. Well, you need it. I mean, you know, they sacked 3,000 rover workers at Solihull, where I live, and I had to go and see the lads. I mean, they were moaning. I said, come on, lads, don't you realise the cost of opera tickets in Covent Garden? You haven't got a clue. Why don't you make the M25 into a moat? Declare independence and we can all piss off then. With the M1 and Virgin trains, you can't get into London anyway. I wonder about Richard Branson and Virgin. I mean, you can wake up in the morning to Virgin Radio and put on your Virgin clothes, catch a Virgin train to the Virgin megastore to buy a Virgin record, then go to the Virgin nightclub and get plastered on Virgin vodka and Virgin cola, fall over and break your leg and claim compensation from your Virgin insurance. And with the money you can go on a Virgin holiday with Virgin Airlines to the Virgin Islands. All them Virgins and you're still getting screwed. Anyway, I've given up on trains these days. I go everywhere by car. At least you get a seat. There is some sort of conspiracy to stop us driving these days. And, I mean, speed bumps. I mean, there's zillions of them now. Speed bumps everywhere. And when did they start calling speed bumps and not sleeping policemen? Because there was a certain satisfaction about driving. Over a sleeping policeman. Oh, yeah. I think I'll just back over that one. There is this theory that if you hit speed bumps at 120 mile an hour, you don't feel them. Wrong. I hit the first one, missed the next 13, and spent the rest of the week looking like Clive Anderson, you know. You ever been driving in your car and you've just done about 20 miles and you can't remember a damn thing? You start thinking things like, shouldn't I be in the front? This is not my car. I've got a radio and it's got a button on it, and you press it and it gives you automatic traffic information from wherever you are, you know. It's got TI on it, so I suppose it's traffic information. And the thing is, every local radio station in the country now has a helicopter giving you eye-in-the-sky traffic reports, you see. And you never actually get used to it, because, like, you know, you're listening to Elton John or something, and suddenly you hear... This is Piccadilly Radio in Manchester giving you a report on the M6. Well, we'd like to, but we can't see it because of all the helicopters giving you traffic reports on the M6. We're flying over Moss Side now, and there's a lot of stationary cars down there. We're going to go down and just check it out. Ah, they haven't got any wheels on. The M66 is clear. We're just going to go down and check that out for you. We're going down. We're going down now. We're going down rather rapidly now. The M66 is clear right now, but in 30 seconds there's going to be one hell of a bloody pile. And those commercial vehicles with that little sign on the back that says, "How's my driving?" Crap. And underneath it says, "Any complaints, phone this number." Don't bother. Did it once. What a waste of time. What a waste of time. Big lorry cut me up. Blimey, I nearly ran into the back of him. I mean, just and I thought, what the hell? And there's this, like, you know, any complaints. So I took the phone number and I took his registration, and I caught up with him. I overtook him and I pulled in front, you know, and had a good look at him. Got on the phone and said, "Excuse me, I've got a complaint about one of your drivers." Yeah, he's just cut me up. Yes, rather dangerously, actually. Yes, I've got his registration. I gave him the registration. A description? Well, yes, I can. Yes, he's right up my back bumper here. I can see him clearly. He's a big tattooed pit bull. What a bloody ugly cretin, you know. He's got greasy hair and dandruff. He's giving me the two-finger sign now. And he's using his mobile phone. He's put it down now. Hello? I phoned back and apologised. And speed cameras. These are self-defeating now. Speed cameras are self-defeating, I think, because once you know where they are, then they become ineffectual, don't they? I mean, I come in on the A40 into London. I mean, it's back to itself now, as it used to be, you know. When you know where they are, that's it, isn't it? Tootle, 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 tootle. True story, a mate of mine got caught by one of these speed cameras in Birmingham, and they sent him a summons, and he just ignored it. And eventually, the police sent him a photo of his car speeding. Now, so he sent the police a photo of his cheque. And the Birmingham police have got a great sense of humour because they sent him a photo of a pair of handcuffs. Right. London's a funny place. I mean, well, Dick Whittington came here thinking the streets were paved with gold. Probably why they called him Dick. It's paved with pigeons, that's what it is. You get onto tubes with a pigeon on each foot, don't you? You look like you've got a pair of them novelty slippers on, you know. And you do odd things. I went into the Ted Baker shirt shop, right? Somewhere, it's just off Covent Garden. And I bought a couple of shirts, you see. And they're a bit pricey. And at the end, for real, at the end, they gave me 10 free condoms. Seriously. blimey, these shirts must be the business, you know. Well, I put one on straight away, you know. 10 condoms, man, that'll last me. Well, it'll last me, actually, if I'm honest. I was in Oxford Street, right? And I bet this has happened to you. I was looking in a shop window, and I had a little sort of tap on the shoulder, and I turned around, and it was this woman, and she was with her husband, and he was this really big fella, you know, and like he had his own postcode, one of them. Thank you. She said, "You don't remember me, do you?" And you go, no. And she said, "I'll give you a clue." We did woodwork together. And she said, no, you were doing a show and I had an asthma attack. And you helped me out. And I thought, well, I'd remember that, you know. And I couldn't bring it to mind, and she went on. And after about 5 minutes, I realised she thought I was Frank Skinner. He's a West Bromwich Albion fan. Her husband worked for Argos. Says it all, doesn't it, really? Argos is staffed entirely by people who have failed their Woolworths exams. Argos, the Greek god of pointless queuing. Hello, have you got one of these? No. Have you got this one here? No. Have you got anything? I've got a pen. And those are the stuff they let you see. What's behind the customer collection point? See the odd pair of clawed hands come out with a box. You can't beat Woolies, though, can you? Oh, you can't beat Woolies. I love going into Woolies when it's busy. Saturday morning, you know, going up to one of the assistants and saying, "Excuse me, I've just put some anthrax in the pick and mix." Oh. Not my department. I was in Woolies in Birmingham last year, just before Christmas. And I was near that small jewellery section they have, you know. And there were two girls, they'd be about 15, something like that. And one of them was buying a crucifix, you see. And she said to her mate, she said, "It's a bit plain, isn't it?" And she looked at the assistant and she said, "Have you got one with that little bloke on it?" Education works, you see. I've been around had some great times on tour. Went to Belfast. That's great. Now they've cleared up all that mess. It's a lovely city and stuff, and great charm. You know, I was doing a couple of live shows, and when I was there, I was doing this local TV program. You see, and I was talking to the director before the show, and I got some notes, things I wanted to say, and I said, "Can I mention Semtex?" Semtex? Don't say Semtex. It's a brand name. And I checked in, I stayed at the Europa Hotel in Belfast, and then the receptionist said to me, she said, "Well, how did you hear about us?" News at 10. When I first went to Belfast, and I remember checking into the Europa, and it was fully guarded then, and there was an RUC officer standing on guard, you know, and he got his rifle, he got his flak jacket and the helmet and the boots and stuff. And I was walking in, and he looked at me and he went, "Ah, Mr. Carrott, oh, I watch all your shows, sir. Oh, you're a very funny man indeed. Oh, you make me laugh, sir. Oh, indeed. Mind you, I couldn't do your job. Oh, not with all that stress." And I went to Newcastle. Anybody from Newcastle? Good. No, when you're onto, I mean, when you finish the show, you're always hungry because it's best not to eat before you work. And of course, after the show, it's fairly late. So basically, you're down to curries or Chinese, you know, and I'm not that keen on Chinese. So I'm a bit curried out, I have to say that. But in Newcastle, they've got a new curry, okay? Because Newcastle's a very hard city, you know, like, would you like a dandruff salad, like, you know? Well, you see all the Newcastle United supporters, don't you? You know, like in midwinter, they're stripped to the waist going, why, yeah, it's bloody hot on the ground today, like, you know? And half the population wear them football shirts with the stripes, you know? They look like walking barcodes. They cock up the tills at Sainsbury's, I can tell you. And they've invented this new macho curry in Newcastle called a magmaloo. Okay. Yes. Oh, someone's had one. There you go. Well, you know, I mean, if you're into curries, fine. The hottest I've ever had in my life is a fowl. Okay? A fowl. There's a vindaloo, a tindaloo, and a fowl. And I had a couple of spoonfuls, and I thought, I've swallowed a marine distress flare. That's why it's called a fowl, because halfway through you go, fowl be all right. So I've done a couple of shows in Newcastle, you see, and I got a couple of mates, and they went, right, well, you're going to have to taste a magmaloo now, like, you know, not them fowl, that wimpy bloody curry, like. So they took me to this restaurant, and they ordered me a chicken magmaloo, okay? So I'm sitting there, and I hear it coming. And they serve it in these bowls made out of shuttle re-entry tiles. And I put my spoon in and it didn't come out. And you can order a side dish of Savlon. So we all started tucking into this, you see, because, like, I mean, it is a macho city, so no one can give way, you know. And you're sweating like lawn sprinklers. You know? How is it, Jasper? Okay. And well, I've had hotter, like, you know. What? The mercury fillings are dribbling down my cheek. And I was the first to break. Went, water! Oh, you can't drink water, like, it'll make it worse. Stop that, I was into the fish tank. Well, I tell you what, next day, my arse felt like that map you see at the beginning of Bonanza.